Ever since Nintendo released the trailer for the new Nintendo Switch, the internet has been in debate over what the launch price should be for this console. And before I even get started, I would like to ask you and your thoughts. Comment below, what do you think the price of this console will be at launch? What are you prepared to pay for it? Now essentially, there's a few different ways you could look at this. You could look at this as just the console itself with the Joy-Con L and R and the tablet controller, but you could also look at it in terms of a bundle. I did propose this question on Twitter, and I was asking 4 different price points: $250, $300, $350, and $400, all in US dollars, and here's the results I got from you guys. Out of the 304 votes, 46% of you said $300, 30% of you said $350, and 12% said both $250 and $400. First, I want to go through these 4 options and see if it's actually viable for Nintendo, but keep in mind this is very difficult to do without actually knowing the components that make up the console other than the fact that it has a custom Tegra chip. If the system sells for only $250, Nintendo is undercutting the PS4 and the Xbox One, and the price point's almost in the same range as the new Nintendo 3DS. I do think if they sell it at this price point, it will be selling the system for a loss, which is not something that Nintendo is probably prepared to do, especially whenever they have in mind their investors. Next, at the price point of $300, I do think this is a more viable option. I do think the system would be at a strong price point at $300, and a lot of people would consider buying the system. And that's simply if it's only the system and the controller. If we get into bundles, then the price obviously varies, but I do think $300 is most likely the price that it will release for, maybe even closer to $320. Next up, if we look at $350, Nintendo probably starts to make a profit on the system, and I don't think they would price point it more than $350 unless we do get into a bundle for the system. If the system releases for $400, not as a bundle, but just as the console itself, I think Nintendo is dead in the water, and I think the system will not be successful. Nintendo needs to ensure that they sell this console far more than 20 million units to continue and be a successful gaming company that is still producing systems. When they hit that $400 mark for just the system, too many people are persuaded away from the console and will look towards other gaming platforms. Lastly, let's discuss bundles for the system. I do think a bundle will exist for the Nintendo Switch, and I would expect the bundle to be $100 more than the system that is released on its own. Nintendo may actually release something like Wii Sports or Nintendo Land with the system to show off its capabilities, but I really expect maybe there to be a Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild bundle with the dock for the controllers, also called the grip for the Joy-Cons, and also a Pro controller to be released, and I would expect that to be $100 more. If Nintendo releases the console on its own for $300, I would expect this bundle to be $400, and it would be the main system seller, because most people are after the Legend of Zelda for the system. My personal dream bundle at launch would be the new Mario game, the new Zelda game, 2 Pro controllers, and the system itself with the grip for the Joy-Con L and R. I would be willing to pay probably $450 to $500 for that bundle to get both games and 2 Pro controllers, and that would be my dream deal. However, I would like to know as a comment below what you would pay for the Nintendo Switch and what you think is a great price point for it. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to fill that like bucket, follow me on all the social media links in the description below the video, and remember, as always, go collect them all and keep smiling while gaming.